Good afternoon, student. So, in today's session, what we'll do, first of all, we'll solve some problem in function, and through those example, also we'll come to know how function is useful and how it is useful to reduce the program size. So, yesterday I have given one worksheet. So, again I am telling that I have received a very few. So, by today I want all the worksheet to be done. So try it. If any problems are coming, you can also ask me during the session, and even you can ask any question also. So now we'll go further to the worksheet. So today the very first program I will try to elaborate. What is the question? Question is, write a function definition to check a number is prime or not. So how we can check it? So first, as we know, we have to define the function. So how we have defined? Let's see. Def is prime, then within bracket I have written n. Def is prime, within bracket I have written n. Is prime is the name that I have given here. Now f equals to 0. Here is just variable, one variable I have taken here. For I in range 1 comma n plus 1. For I in range 1 comma n plus 1. That means the loop will run from 1 to the number itself. The loop will run to 1 to the number itself. So for example, if I want to check 5, so the loop will run from 1 to 5 plus 1, that is 6, and by default it will run up to 5. 1 to 5 the loop will run. And what it is checking? If n% equal to 0, f plus equal to 1. n% equal to 0, what does it mean? If the number is divisible by I, so then we can go for the updation of f. How we are updating the f? We are updating the f by 1. We are simply updating the f by 1. So after that, what is the meaning of this point? Just a minute. Some network issue has occurred. Yes. So if n% equal to 0, that means suppose I am starting with 5, 5% 1. So what does it mean? We are dividing 5 divided by 1. That means when we will divide 5 by 1, remainder will be 1 5s are 5, that means remainder will be 0. So we'll consider this one. So what will happen? The value of f will be updated by 1. What is the default value or present value of f? Is 0. So that time f will be updated by 1. That means value of f will be 1. 0 plus 1, 1. Now next issue is there. After completion of this loop, the program will check this part. What is the task? If f greater than 2. So now this is a simple mathematics concept. What is the concept? Concept is here, if the number of factor is greater than 2, then we can say the number is not a prime number. For example, this is simple concept, all of you know, then also I am explaining. For example, if I take one example, 8. So how many factors or what are the factors of 8? We know 1, 2, 4 and 8 itself. So how many factors are coming? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 factor. So obviously 8 is not a prime number. But if we say 5, how many factors are there? 5 has factor 1 and the 5 itself. So that means only 2 factor. So that's why we are using this logic here. If f greater than 2, print non-prime. And else, sorry, here one colon will be there, else print prime number. So this is our function definition and we'll call it from the main. So let's see. Suppose we are entering one value x equal to in input, enter a number is prime x. So in the is prime function we are passing the parameter x. So we don't know what will be the value of x. So in this case, suppose I am taking one value of x as 7. One value of x as 7. So when we are passing this x as 7, this x will go to this n that we know already, and then n through n or up to n this loop will run. That means from 1 to 7 the loop will run, and when 1 to 7 loop will run, it will count for the factor. So for 7, how many factors will be there? Ultimately factors will be 2, the 1 and number itself. So then it will come to this part. Factor number is 2, factor number is 2, this is not greater than 2. 2 is not greater than 2. Try to remember or try to understand this point. 2 is not greater than 2. This is the false part, so it will come to the else part. So ultimately it will print prime number. That means for x equal to 7, it will print prime number. So you can ask any question is there, so I can again clarify it to you. So next, is prime 10. Again I am taking another example. Just here I have taken x, the value of x I have consumed or assumed 7. So now again in the same function or in the same function area or simply same main program, I am using the second time method, or I am using or calling the method for second time. So is prime 10, now I am using it for second time. So when I am sending the 10, so again the n value will be 10 and loop will run from 1 to 11 actually, but ultimately it will come down to 10. That we know the logic of range function, 1 to exact number, but actually it is n plus 1. So Ritesh will come to the question. Wait for a minute. 1 to 10, then 1 to 10 it will run the loop. So how many factors it will found? It will found the factor 1, 2, then 5 and then 10. So ultimately the value of f will be here 4. Value of f will be here 4. So if value of f is 4, so all of you can understand this logic will be true. So then it will print non-prime number. That means for the second time when I am calling, it will print non-prime. And for the third time, now again repeating, when it will send 19 as argument or parameter, then again it will count for the factor and ultimately it will find that 2 factors is available. So when 2 factors is available, this logic will be false. It will come to the else part and again it will print prime number. So in this way actually a function can work. Also in this program, again I want to repeat one point, that and this is one of the advantage of function. You are writing the function for one time, but you can use the same function in a same program for any number of time. There is no boundaries. This is one of the advantage. Simply it is reducing the code size. How? Suppose if you need to write the logic for x, 10 and 19, so you need to write this number of lines of code for 3 times. So this is how the code is reduced. The code size is reduced in number of lines. So here was the explanation of first one. After the session also I will send the PDF also. From that you can also write if you have any doubt. Now Ritesh has asked the question that he was not able to understand the third one. Write a program to define a function speed that takes 2 parameters, distance and time, and then calculate the speed. This is quite easy as sum, so I will try to clarify the things. Okay, let me show you and after that we will proceed to our today's topic. So how we can write the function? So def, then what will be the function name? For example, speed as it mentioned in the question. If it is not mentioned in the question, you can take any name. So I am taking here 2 variable d and t. Then as you are science student, I think all of you know the what is the formula. S is equal to d by t, simple thing. Now if you want to return it, then return, or if you don't want to return, then no issue. Either you can write return, or simply you can write print speed is S. Now here in this program only lot of variation can be there. Just like if you want to guide the user that you have to take this distance in kilometer and time in hour, either this way, or you can guide this to user that you have to take the distance in meter and time in second. That also can be done, and even after that you can do the changing into different units. That also can be possible. That depends on you how you write the code. So this is the basic structure of the code, and from the main how you can simply call the code. Simply if you want that no return type, so speed in bracket you can say any variable, you can send any variable. So suppose I am sending here 100 comma 4, so ultimately speed will come as 25. So after that also you can write the message in a customized way, just like 25 kilometer per hour. In this way you can write in this customized way. So this was the answer for this. If you had more doubt, so you can also ask me during this session. Now I will go for another example. This example I have taken to explain the function usefulness, or how the function is very easy, or how it is very much useful in terms of reducing, not only reducing, in terms of reducing the complexity of the code. So this is quite good example. Just in the last example I was explaining, or I was telling that in a same program you can call a single function for multiple time, and that only I will do through one simple question. So what is my question here? Here it is one equation. You can see this is the factorial symbol. All of you know, either you can write the factorial in mathematics in this way, n factorial, or you can write in this way. These are the two ways you can write any factorial symbol. So how we will calculate the factorial, that also we know. So for example I am taking, suppose I have to calculate the factorial for 5. How we can calculate? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5, either this, or you can write in opposite manner, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. These are the two way you can find the factorial of any number. So now after this I am coming to the question. Question is here, this is one equation and we have to solve this equation by using one function. So for this purpose we can see that all the equations are basically based on the factorial. So I have made one general factorial function in common. So what is my function? Def factorial n. N is my variable or argument. Here I have taken one variable f equals to 1. Then for I in range 1 comma n plus 1. And then what we are writing? F asterisk equal to I. What is the meaning of this line? If we expand the line, we can write in this way also, f equals to f into I. F equals to f into I. That means continuously, simultaneously it will multiply with the value of I. Initially the value of f is 1 and constantly it will multiply with constant values. This program, this logic already you have done in class 11. Only here the changes we are using inside a function. The logic is same. After that, after calculation of this factorial, the function is returning the factorial. So return f. Now we are coming to the main method. So what is the method here? Or method name is factorial. And here yesterday we have discussed that if you want to show that main, we are working on main, how we can see that? You can write simply double underscore name. Print double underscore name. It will simply print main. It will simply print main. So after that we are taking one value, n equals to int input, enter a value for n, and then I am just converting this equation. All of you can see this equation, n factorial divided by n plus 1 factorial into n minus 1 factorial into Python expression. So solution, I have taken one variable SOLN, factorial of n. Just look, factorial of n. For this factorial of n divided by factorial of n plus 1 into factorial of n minus 1. So again I am repeating, when you are sending any parameter or when you are calling any method or function, so that time you can send direct value to it. Just like direct value means if you send any factorial 5 directly, if you write here 5, so that can also be sent. If you write any variable, that can also be sent. If you write any expression n plus 1, this is one of the mathematical expression, so that expression can also be sent. These are the general things of function. Whenever you are working in a function, you have to know the varieties of it, how it works actually. Then print solution. So when we'll call this function, simply it will send the value to the respective method. What is my method? This method, and it will calculate on that, and immediately it will return to the called area. It will return to the called area, and within the called area the value will be calculated and the solution will be printed. So let's see the output. Try to understand the output. So already we have seen what is our equation, that n factorial divided by n plus 1 factorial into n minus 1 factorial. This is our equation, or simply solution. So how we can, suppose here you can see I have assumed the value is 5. So factorial, actually in bracket when we are sending the value 5 is n, implicitly we are sending 5 because we have taken the value of n as 5, by factorial of 5 plus 1. So it will send 5 plus 1, that means 6, into factorial of 5 minus 1, that means it will send 4. So ultimately this type of expression will come, and ultimately quite this type of value will come. This will be generated by the computer, not you or not me. Now the second one again try to understand. N equals to 3, I have assumed the value. Factorial of 3 divided by factorial of 3 plus 1 into factorial of 3 minus 1. Simply 6 by 24 into 2, 6 by 48, and ultimately value will come like this. So only you need to understand that here also we are calling the same function for multiple time. So what becomes my benefit if I had to write the code for all these 3 expression? So if we simply count how many lines we have to write for multiple time, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 4 line or 3 line at least we have to write for this 3 expression. If there is more expression, then we have to write for that multiple times. So why we will write? That's why we can create, or we will use the user defined function, and this will have a good use in our project work also, because in the project work will not be a single program, it is quite variety of large programs and different types of programs. Day by day will come to use it. So that's why you have to know the different areas or different feasible areas of function, and those area we are just going to apply on our project. And those project, in that project not only will use function, but also we have to use MySQL. Again I am repeating today also that we will have to use MySQL, and ultimately we have to connect both ends, front end and back end, that is MySQL and Python both side, and after that we can finalize the project. So that's why student, those who are not submitting or those who are not doing their assignment in time, so try to do it with proper way, it will only help you. So now coming to our next topic, coming to next approach or function topic. So now we'll discuss about parameters. Parameter, yesterday only we have discussed that basically types of parameters or arguments are there, or parameters are present. That is like in the function call, some values, those values are present, that are called parameter, and those are present in the function definition, that's argument. After that, if we say, or if we want to segregate some parameters, how it can be segregated? So let's see. Number one, one is called positional argument, number 2 default argument, and number 3 keyword argument. But before going to any of the topic, again let me tell, this positional argument is the type or argument or parameter, you can say here also, that already you have used in the program that we have done till yet. अभी तक जो किए those program में हम लोग use कर चुके. Again I am repeating, positional argument are those type of arguments that already we have used. Now coming to the example of positional argument. So for example, this simple example I have taken here, def means definition keyword of function, add a comma b. Two methods are there, two arguments are there. Then c equals to a plus b, print c. I have not taken any return statement. Now we are coming to the main area. In the main, I have done it for few times. Let's see, add 4 comma 5. So simply what will happen, this part already you have done or we have discussed in the very first day or second day also, that when you will assign 4 and 5 here, this 4 will go to A, this 5 will go to B, and then it will calculate the value, that is c equals to 5 plus 4 9, print c. So for this case it will print 9 simply. Now after that you can see one variable I have taken, x equal to 2, and then I have taken add x comma 3. So what I have done, actually I have kept the x as a first argument. So value of this first argument will go to the first parameter simply, first to first, second to second. This is only called positional argument. This is only called positional argument. This is only called positional argument. X will go to the first position because it is mentioned in the first. 3 will go to the second position. So ultimately what will come? So that means 2 plus 3. So for this the value will be 5. Then the third one, y equals to 5 and add y comma x. Now here you can see x become the second argument. So obviously x will go to b. X will go to b and y will go to a. Y will go to a. Now let's see some of the points of positional argument. Value for all parameters should be present. That means how many parameter is there in function definition? 2 parameters. So here in each case I have to send 2 parameters. But if you write this 5 as a first argument, if you write 4 as a second argument, it will be sent like that only. It will be sent like that only. So value for all parameters should be present. Next, values are matched with position and order. That only I said, that x is in first position and it will be copied to A. 3 is in second position, it will be copied to B. Y is in first position now, it will be copied to A, and x is in second position, it will be copied to B. This is simply addition example. In place of addition, if we take another example, you can understand quite better. For example, def quotient, in bracket I am taking a comma b, and then you are writing a c equals to a by b. Now if you send 4 comma 5, so what will happen? 4 divided by 5. If you send x comma 3, what will happen? 2 divided by 3. But if you send y comma x, what will happen? 5 divided by 2. Here it will come 5 divided by 2. This is the case. This is the meaning of positional argument. As you are sending, it will be received like that only and it will be used. So this is the first positional argument. Now we will go for quite very interesting and important also, default argument. Default means what? What do we know the meaning of default? Default means when there is a predefined settings is available. In terms of computer, you know very well, predefined setting, that setting is already present in our system or in our any functionality, that is called default. So for example, let me show you. If I write x, only one variable, we generally give any value to x, that is 0. So in the same way, this technique we can use in the function chapter or function definition also. So first of all, before going to default argument explanation, I want to give you one simple example. For example, suppose I want to go for one mathematical calculation. There I need to fix any value as constant. Constant also you know very well. So in that case, I can make any particular variable or parameter as default. So let's see how it's work. So here I have taken another again same example, def add three variable I have taken a comma b comma c, but here I have written a special thing, c equals to 2. So now this c equals to 2 is actually means that it is a default argument. Now here what I am doing, r equals to simply a plus b plus c, print r, that means it will simply print the sum. Now I am calling the function for many times or multiple times, add 4 comma 5 comma 6. So we are writing here three different parameters. So as we know through the positional argument, this is nothing but difference with positional argument, that 4 will go to a, 5 will go to b, but question is here. So here is one point you have to note down, that when we are using 6 or when we are using any variable or value for the default argument or default piece of argument, then the value that we are sending from the calling function, this is the calling area, again I am repeating. So this value will be used, that you have to remember. So for this first one case, this add 4 5 6, what will be the result? Many of you can think that value will be 4 plus 5, 4, that means 4 plus 5 plus 2, that is 5 plus 2 7 plus 11. No, this is false, or no, this is wrong. So for this case, what will be the value? It will be 15. Why? Because whenever there is a value present for the any argument, so or in the function call statement, so that time it will use that assigned value. Now I am going for the second one, 2 comma 3. So what will happen? Here you can see the third variable is missing, that means c is missing here. So 2 will go to a, 3 will go to b, and c by default it will take 2. So for this second case, what will be the result? 2 plus 3, 5 plus 2, 7. For this case, the value will be 7. So you can see 2 points. Here I have written 2 points. Another example, let me explain the third example. X equal to 2, y equal to 4. Two simple variable I have taken. Here I have written add x comma y. So again you can see x will go to a, y will go to b, and c will be automatically invoked, or c value will be used by as a default value. So 4 plus 2 plus 2, that is 8 will be the answer for this function call. Now this one, you can see add 4 comma 5. You can see I have missed the second position. So it can be thought by any student or any user that since we have used any default value, so by default use 2 here, but this is not true. In this way, if we try to call this function, it can raise error. Why? Again, the answer is in positional argument. In the positional argument, as I said, the value will be sent as order and position. So 4 will be sent to a. Okay, there is actually no value for b is present in this function call. So that means 4 can be used by the a, but cannot be used by b. The answer is again in the positional argument, because b is the second variable, but for b here is no value. If we could have the default value here also, then we can write 4 only. Suppose if b we have 0, then if we write 4, then it can find any answer. So this is the use of default argument. But some points you have to remember here also. So what are the point? Default argument holds default value, that we already come to know. Next, in this case, you can see we are using default argument or default structure or default function also, default argument structure function. So there, in the first calling method, no argument missing. First one, no argument is missing, because here c was there, but here also I am passing c, so it will use this c, the function calling statement value. Next, in this case, third argument missing, default value will be in use, that I already mentioned. 2 and 3 are there, so AB will be will take the value from this, xy will give the value of AB, but C is missing, so C value will be used. So this was the thing of default argument. And last point, cannot change the order of default value. So here you can see already that I had told. There was missing value for B also. Here also the value missing for B and C. C can take, but how it will take B? So it cannot take. So cannot change the order of default value. And regarding order, I have mentioned in the positional argument. And last point, become optional in function call. If any default value is there, so if we do not mention that particular variable, it will become optional. But the last and most important point, when you are maintaining the default value, it has to be maintained in from the right to left onward, from right to left onward. So to understand this concept, so let's take some example. So here I have taken some example, and you can see some of it have tick mark and some of it has cross mark. So from here we will understand which are legal and which are illegal type. So def function a comma b comma c, it is legal. As I mentioned, we can write from right side, right to left onwards. So only first one is default argument, so no issue, it is okay. In the second one, this is illegal. We have to start from the right. Right is not one. The C is not default. C has not any default value, but B has. So it cannot be possible. Next, A equals to 2, B equals to 2, C equals to 2. No issue. All has default value. So this is legal type. Again, this one. A equal to 2, B equal to 2 and C. So you can see right one is not assigned, but left side it is been assigned. So again it is not legal or illegal. And last one, A comma B equals to 4, C equals to 0. No issue, because from the right side we are maintaining. So left one is not mentioned. No issue, we can mention. This is also a legal. So this was the two types of parameter. So in next session we will discuss about the keyword argument. And again today we are sending some notes for you. Go through the notes. Tomorrow if any doubts comes, we will discuss on further. Thank you class. Good day.